massive respect to me, respect to you, respect to that last sketch is due. You like it, I liked it too. Respect this next one, I beg you do. Respect.
Change the pace.
What did I say I was going to call part 2? I was going to call part 2, Dawn Butler was right. She was right. Look, read on the left. On the left. Much. Any Labour member who advocates opposing a Labour candidate or supporting a rival can be auto-excluded from the party. Just days after Greening's comments, a Labour member was auto-excluded for saying Sadiq Khan would not be getting their first preference vote for mayor. Greening's apparent lack of support for Labour mayoral candidate Sadiq Khan and Jackson's apparent lack of support for the Labour Party was not reported to the party. What did I say? What did I say I was going to call this? I said I was going to call this Dawn Butler was right, yeah? Following the 2015 leadership campaign, many staff continued to show their dissatisfaction with MPs who nominated Corbyn, such as Sadiq Khan. On the 28th of April 2016, a week before the 2016 London mayoral election, Joe Greening, head of international liaison, commented that maybe I will consider voting for Sadiq Khan now, after Khan called for Livingston to be suspended. Probably not, though. Director of Policy and Research Simon Jackson, meanwhile, said to colleagues regarding a potential snap general election, ultimately, though, who votes for JC? If it's a choice between him and T May, how do we vote for him? I mean, we're not fucking mad. That's what it's saying. That's what it's saying, right? That's what it's saying. So all of this is going on. You basically got fifth columnists in Labour. You got Tories in Labour. The report's telling you. That's what this. It's not me pulling something out of my arse. This is the report here. On the 6th of October 2015, Acting Director of Policy and Policy Research Simon Jackson said that Ian Duncan Smith was shit. But the mad thing is, he's better than most of our shadow cabinet. The shadow cabinet was then a broad unity shadow cabinet in which only 4 MPs were supporters of Corbyn. Only 4 MPs were supporters of Corbyn. So when Corbyn had a shadow cabinet, only 4 MPs were supporting him. So the rot is in Labour. The rot is in, man. Senior staff commented negatively on Dawn Butler MP's appointment to the shadow cabinet, apparently suggesting that her accusations of racism within the Labour Party were untrue. Emily Oldknow. Dawn Butler! Neil Fleming, acting head of press and broadcasting. Yep, people, women will go spare. Emily Oldknow. Good grief. Claire Francis Fuller. Did she not accuse LP and his staff of being racist this week? Nice. As they're being racist. As they're collectively being racist about something. No, they're not. They're not vocalizing racism. They are being racist. You know, you can be racist without having to say something racist. And right now, this is what I call institutional racism. This is institutional racism right now. Going down. Mulholland, as PLP secretary, was the main liaison between MPs and the Labour Party. In February 2017, she said Diane Abbott literally makes me sick. In the same WhatsApp group, senior staff discussed Abbott crying in the toilets and telling Michael Crick, a TV reporter at the time, where she was. And now I remember this. So this is where members of the Labour Party, when you got your MP, like, you know, in bits crying in the toilet, and then you're going over to journalists and going, hey mate, she's in there. She's over there. Patrick Hennigan, Abbott found crying in the loos. Julie Lawrence, nothing emoji. Tracy Allen, Abbott Memorial Cupboard works well. Patrick Hennigan, Diane in Leon on Vic Street. Fiona Stanton, shall we tell Michael Crick? Patrick Hennigan, already have. Wow. So that's how it goes down in the Labour Party. Labour, you're done. You're done. You'll never get a black person to vote for you ever again. Ever. Like, not if I got anything to do with it. Oh, don't get me wrong. You're going to have coons. In the same way that your Tory racial diversity minister, yeah, that Nigerian that they just employed, yeah, you'll have those bootlicks, yeah, but you're never going to have the fire, the political passion, yeah, of the Labour of old, because you're not the Labour of old anyway. Another senior staff member engaged in what could be considered a classic racist trope, calling Diane Abbott an angry woman, while his colleague called her repulsive. Neil Fleming, watching QT without the sound on. Abbott is a very angry woman. Greg Cook, Abbott is truly repulsive. Is Greg Cook still in the Labour Party? Is Neil Fleming still in the Labour Party? Disgusting. As mentioned elsewhere in this report, senior staff also remarked remarked in this WhatsApp group that Emily Thornberry was horrendous and would pay in the reckoning following what they expected to be poor performance for Labour in the 2017 general election, which they helped create. Oh, staff views on Labour policies. Oh my God. Labour staff expressed opposition to the policy programme, not just of Jeremy Corbyn, but also Labour's 2015 manifesto. Ed Miliband and Andy Burnham, all considered to be too far to the left. Miliband and Burnham! Too far to the... Labour's done! The rot is... It's no longer a tree, it's just rot. There's no more tree left. It's just rot to the core. Oh my God! Opposition to key Labour policies was expressed by key staff who worked in the GLU. On the 15th of September 2015, Dan Hogan, who later became an investigations officer in the GLU, commented that a Labour campaign for an EU referendum makes a change from Trident, rail renationalisation and landlord bashing. He also opposed John McDonnell calling for corporation tax to go up. Dan Hogan, 11:52. Brace yourself. McDonnell just called for corporation tax to go up. Amy Fowler, 11:52. Are you kidding me? I can't believe it. Corporation tax. The rich motherfuckers in the city. Yeah. Oh my God. Guys, how done is Labour now? How done is Labour? On the 27th of April 2016, Colette Collins-Walsh, Education Policy Officer, and James McBride discussed the Conservative Party critique of left-wing economics. Colette Collins. Is Colette Collins still in the Labour Party? Colette Collins-Walsh. Is she still... James McBride. Are they still in the Labour Party? Colette Collins-Walsh. http manchesterconservatives.com. Contra Corbynomics. Why we should be incredulous towards economic statism. Finally, higher tax rates do not necessarily yield more revenues because they reduce incentives to work. What Corbyn fails to understand is that the UK is actually becoming more equal. James McBride. Indeed, very true. Oh, these are Tories. On the 29th of July 2016, Simon Jackson and Head of Policy Development Anushka Gregoric discussed their opposition to the policy platform of Owen Smith, the rival to Jeremy Corbyn in the 2016 leadership election. Anushka Gregoric. I'm hoping it's a genius plan to pretend these are his policies, and then, when enough people have voted for him, he just quietly sheds policies as they poll badly. Simon Jackson, well, yes, the only thing that matters is winning. But, Anushka Gregoric. I'm holding on to this, Simon Jackson. The thing about Owen is, he thinks he should be PM. He really does. He doesn't realise he's shit. He's another Ed Miliband. On the 14th of March 2017, my God, what a toxic environment. On the 14th of March 2017, Catherine Bramwell, Communications Officer for South East Region, said, I hate the Trots, X a million, well, I hate them a million times probably, and claimed that the idea of rail nationalisation was not popular in the southeast of England. It all looks like it is Trots doing what Trots do. During the 2017 general election, General Secretary Ian McNicol responded to the announcement of a policy of free school meals with ridicule. Like, at the moment, we got Marcus Rashford proposing free school meals during the holidays, getting a knighthood, and then the incumbent government turning down that idea. But that's the Tories. We expect them to do that. Over in Labour, during the 2017 general election, General Secretary Leon McNicol, is Leon McNicol still in the party, responded to the announcement of a policy of free school meals with ridicule. Ian McNicol, I believe in this policy, always have, but for very different reasons. If you go to a private school, you get school meals. All the teachers have to sit with the pupils and they are taught how to eat, etc., etc. This is some private school bullshit. Tracy Allen, we should get them all to do their BMI before they go around criticising poor people. I agree with policy, but poor kids are just as likely to be skinny from bad nutrition and don't grow. Ian McNicol, next time we will be saying most poor people are criminals, and the best way to reduce future offending is by forced castration. Ian McNicol, Simon M, please don't respond to that policy. They're just taking the piss. Separately, on the 20th of May 2017, senior staff wrote how they could not understand Lotto's decision to oppose the widely panned dementia tax. Do you remember the dementia tax? So these guys were for a dementia tax. Tracy Allen, I know I'm not a strategist or a policy person, but am I totally missing something here? Why aren't the trots in favour of rich people paying more towards social care and not getting winter fuel allowances? Patrick Hennigan, they normally are. Just goes to show how they think of the average. On the 24th of May 2017, after the Westminster Bridge attack, James McBride, a staff member in Labour's policy unit leading on economy and business policy, shared a clip of right-wing Islamophobic commentator Douglas Murray on BBC Daily Politics saying that all political parties were refusing to confront the reality that terrorism comes from the region of Islam. McBride commented, finding it difficult to disagree with this. Islamophobia. Islamophobia. That's 100% evidence of Islamophobia. More than saying that a bunch of rich Jewish people run the financial districts, which they do. If you're I'm observing a fact. But here we have. I find it difficult to disagree with this, like some Islamophobic video. Yeah. James McBride, we can't ignore the fact that while one might be typically terrorist behaviour, they still derive from the same ideology. One can't ignore the fact that while one might be more typically terrorist behaviour, they still derive from the same ideology. And Western liberal ideology is reluctant to take it on and expose its roots, which inevitably involve hard questions, even for so-called moderate Islam. The Muslim Council of Britain, the main representative body of Muslims in the UK, wrote a formal letter of concern to the BBC about this appearance by Murray, a commentator known for his anti-Muslim and anti-Islamic views. They noted that in a subsequent interview, Murray said the UK needed less Islam. He had previously said that conditions for Muslims in Europe must be made harder across the board, and even the Conservative front broke off relations with him many years ago. But he's rolling around with Labour. Labour staff views of Labour members and activists. Every time I want to pull out, it pulls me back in. Fucking trots. What sort of person only becomes actively involved in politics after a general election? People who love losing. Senior Labour staff, including staff at GLU or staff who later worked in GLU, viewed many Labour members and activists as trots and discussed in Section 2.2 the factional approach to disciplinary action that allowed from this has contributed to widespread distrust in the disciplinary process among some Labour members, which has contributed to problems relating to the handling of anti-Semitism in the party. Look at what's being said here. Look at what's being said. And if you ask me, this is very cleverly written. This is for an intelligent person to read between the lines. This report was done. My mind's telling me no, but my body. I'm trying to work out the right words. This report cunningly exposes the real racists in Labour while investigating anti-Semitism. I'm going to make a wild guess here. I'm going to guess that it's all of these supposed quote-unquote trot left-wingers who are accused of anti-Semitism. I'm just going to throw that out there, right? Because it's used as a weapon. We all know it. Outside of all of this Labour malarkey crap, we all know that accusations of anti-Semitism are used as a Zionist white supremacist tool to shut up left-wingers. But here you've got it running 100% in the party, man. 100% in the party. On the 3rd of November 2014, John Stolliday, later director of GLU, discussed trying to stop trots from being selected as Labour's candidate for parliamentary seat in Scotland, while fellow Labour press officer Anna Wright suggested that Gordon Brown might want someone who has done some trot nominating to take his seat. Oh gosh, is John Stolliday still in the Labour Party? Is Anna Wright still in the Labour Party? John Stolliday. We're in special selection period now, but they're going to call a special org sub to pretend we're doing this in a more open way. There is literally no candidate, and while they need someone good to come forward, they're desperate to stop the Scotland trots from using it to increase power base. Wow, the Tories are right. Oh God, I keep saying it, but my God, it's like this is like listening to a Jesse Lee Peterson speech. It just, you know what's coming, but then the depth of what comes just takes your breath away. It's up for grabs. So if you have any friends who would be good, get them to go for it and are right. And in Edinburgh, no one in the frame? Okay, I might subtly suggest to one person in particular, John Stolliday. Literally no one. They're trying to stop some of Johan's people by the sound of it, and someone good who can keep the seat for ages. Plus, they're worried about Gordon's seat. They want to do an AWS there, but GB has apparently kicked off. and told them they can't. But Gordon Brown's probably kids. He must have someone in mind, and it'll be some knobber like Alex Rowley, who I note has done some trot nominating. So wow, so Gordon Brown is part of the whole anti-trot thingy as well then. And you see it just keeps going on and on. On the 18th of May 2015, before the 2015 leadership election, Cameron Scott, Scottish Labour's head of campaigns and communications, and later regional director for Eastern Region, suggested some raging trot from the unions would probably become deputy leader in Scotland. Ladies and gentlemen, I mean, I'm gonna do a part 3. Obviously, I'm gonna go because this is a long report, but the long and short of it is this report does not unequivocally pin down anti-Semitism. No, in no way, shape or form does it do that. What it does do is it shows you the toxic, racist, elitist takeover of Labour is complete under Keir Starmer. Keir Starmer, who sat on the Jimmy Savile case. Keir Starmer, whose friends here were all responsible for sabotaging Jeremy Corbyn. Labour, you're done, man. I mean, I know they're going to do something. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kill this now. And I'm going to wait for, the next Keir Starmer-driven piece of bullshit to come out. Then I'm going to carry on with this document. And I'm out.